ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलम् श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादां सहगणा ललिता श्रीशाखान्वितं च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So today we are about to talk about the 6 chakras. So this is going to be very, very important because we will see what Srila Prabhupada has to say and the importance of these chakras, why and how they are important. So we'll talk about this. So, so the I would like to read one shloka from the Srimad Bhagavatam, and this shloka is from the 10th canto, and it explains that Srila Prabhupada in his purport, he explains the essence of the chakra yoga. So he explains the retreat of the, he explains the purport of the chakra yoga and how that's, and why is it important and all that. So I will try to share that shloka via via screen sharing here. So let me try to do that. So this shloka, as you can see here, Udaram upasate yarishi vartmasu kripadrishaha parishara paddatim hridayam arunayo daharam tata udagad ananta tavadhama shirah paramam punar iha yat sametya na patanti kritanta mukhe. So this purport, this translation and purport is going to be very important because here Srila Prabhupada will explain a very, very important, a very important point here about the chakras and why, what is the importance. So he says, among the followers of the method set forth by the great sages, those with less refined vision worship the Supreme as present in the region of the abdomen, while the Arunis worship him in the region of the heart. Rohit ji, did you click on the top window of the YouTube? Are you able to see the video? So, Prabhupada says here that it's very beautiful. What he explains, he says that uh, those with less refined vision worship the Supreme as present in the region of the abdomen, while the Arunis worship him as present in the heart, in the subtler center, from which all pranic channels emanate. From there, O unlimited Lord, these worshippers raise their consciousness to the top of the head, where they perceive you directly, then passing through the top of the head towards the supreme destination. So, he says, while Varunis worship him in the heart, in the subtler center, from all the psychic pranic channels emanate. From these, O unlimited Lord, these worshippers raise their consciousness upward to the top of the head, where they can perceive you directly. Then, passing through the top of the head towards the supreme destination, they reach that place from which they will never again fall to this world into the mouth of death. Purport. Here the Shrutis who teach meditational yoga glorify the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The various processes of yoga are, for the most part, gradual and full of opportunities for distraction. Authentic methods of yoga, nonetheless, all aim at meditation on the Supersoul, whose primary residence is in the region of the heart, along with the Jiva soul. So this part we have been explaining or talking about quite a long time, and here it's very clear that that the primary residence of the soul, Atma, is in the region of the heart, and of the Paramatma is also in the region of the heart. Meditators often practice focusing on super soul's secondary presence in one of the lower centers of vital energy, such as the Muladhara chakra at the base of the spine, the Anahata chakra in the area of the navel, or the Manipura chakra in the abdomen. Lord Krishna refers to his expansion as Paramatma in the abdominal chakra as follows. Aham Vaishwanaro Bhutva Praninam Dehamashrita Pranapana Samayukta Pachami Annam Chaturvidham. I am the fire of digestion in the body of all living entities, and I join with the air of life, outgoing and incoming, to digest the four kinds of food. Lord Vaishwanara presides over digestion and in general bestows the capacity of mobility on animals, humans, and demigods. In the judgment of the Shrutis, speaking this verse, those who limit their meditation to this form of the Lord are less intelligent, kupadrishaha, meaning literally having eyes clouded by dust. The superior yogis, known as Arunis, on the other hand, worship the Super Soul in his form as indwelling companion of the Jiva in the heart. The Lord who endows his dependent with the power of knowledge and inspires him with all varieties of practical intelligence. And just as the physical heart is the center of blood circulation, so the subtle heart chakra is the crossroads of numerous channels of prana called nadis. Now listen to this very carefully. So Prabhupada says, and just as the physical heart is the center of blood circulation, so the subtle heart chakra is the crossroads of numerous channels of prana called nadis, which extends outward to all parts of the body. When these passageways have been sufficiently purified, so what does he say? So when these passageways have been sufficiently purified, the Aruni yogis can leave the heart region and go upward to the chakra at the roof of the brain. Yogis who leave their bodies through this chakra, the Brahmarandra, go directly to the kingdom of God, from which they need never return to be reborn. Thus, even the unsure process of meditational yoga can bear the fruit of pure devotion if it is followed perfectly. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur cites several Shruti mantras that echo the words of this verse. Udaram brahmeti sarkarsha upasate hridayam brahmeti arunayo brahma haivaita itha udaro iti evo tat sriyo sriyate. Those whose vision is clouded identify Brahman with the abdomen, while the Arunis worship Brahman in the heart. Those one who is truly Brahman realized travel upwards from the heart to take shelter of the Lord who is manifested at the top of the head. Satam chaika cha hridayasya nadyas tasya murdhvam abhinishritaika tayordhvam ayan amritatvam eti vishan anya utkramane bhavanti. There are 101 subtle pranic channels emanating from the heart. One of these, the Sushumna, extends to the top of the head. By passing through this channel, one transcends death. The other channels lead in all directions to various kinds of rebirth. The Upanishads refer to the indwelling Paramatma. Sri Shvetashvatara Upanishad describes him as follows. The Supreme Personality of Godhead becomes the Purusha to initiate the expansion of this cosmos. He is the perfectly pure goal that yogis strive to reach, the effulgent and infallible ultimate controller. Measuring the size of a thumb, the Purusha is always present as the super soul within the hearts of all living beings. By exercising proper intelligence, one can realize him within the heart. Those who learn this method will gain immortality. So let us worship the Supreme Lord who resides in the heart. When mortal beings think of him by standard procedures established by great sages, meditating upon him and his expansions in the abdomen and other regions of the body, the Lord reciprocates by destroying all fear and death. Hmm. So, as we can see very clearly, very beautifully in these purport, the heart is the seat of the pranic energy. The heart is the seat, and this is the most important part. The Prabhupada says that just like the heart is supplying the blood to all different parts of the body, the region of the heart chakra. So in the heart there is this chakra. So it is in this chakra, the heart chakra, the 101 pranic channels emanate. The pranic channels emanate. And one of them leads to the top of that. So there is a chakra here, which is called as Sahasrara chakra, which has 1,000 petals. And this part on the top of the head, where we leave the shikha. So here behind, on top, we cover this region, and we leave this shikha to cover this top part. So here the soft region is for the where the Sushumna Nadi ends, and it connects here, and the yogi, if his heart is purified, so that is the point here. So the goal of this meditation is to purify the heart. So there is different chakras. So there is Mooladhara chakra, which is below the between the genital and the anus region. So perineum. So it's called as the perineum. So it is near the perineum. So then this Mooladhara chakra, every chakra has a Bijakshara. So this Bijakshara for this root chakra, Mooladhara, is Lam. And its symbol is a square, and its color is red. So it is base chakra. It is the element which is associated with it is earth. So it is very heavy. So those who are conscious or those who are active at the lower regions of the body, so somebody is active in sex life, then actually the lower regions of the body, this chakra is very much active, and those people are heavy in the sense very prone to tamoguna. So earth means heaviness, right? So the Mooladhara chakra, the element is the earth, and it basically represents actually the smell. So actually nose and the reproductive organ, they are very much connected. So then comes the second chakra is Swadhisthana, little higher in the near the navel region comes the Swadhisthana chakra, and its letter is Vam. The color is orange, and the symbol is a upturned crescent. So it represents uh, relationships, sexuality, empathy, pleasure, so many other things. And the planet which deals with it is actually Mercury. Here, this one basically it deals with different kinds of relationships, and the element that is associated with it is water. So earth, water. The next one is the Manipura chakra in the stomach. So this is responsible basically for digestion. So one should remember that on each of these chakras is one form of Vishnu, one form of Devi. So there is the Lord and his energy in each chakra, and they have a certain functions. These chakras are manifested in all species of life, and more so in the human beings. The manifestation is even better in the human beings. But even in the animal kingdom, these chakras are there, but they are not well developed. Means animals do not have the power to actually meditate on these chakras or gain something. Here, if we meditate on these chakras, by chanting the Bija mantra, the chakras open up, the channels open up. Right now, the channels are closed. And basically, as you know, some devotee used to make fun. He used to say, your consciousness is below the navel. So consciousness is below the navel means you are always the human being, the energy, this energy, chakra energy, it should rise. So earth means we are very heavy. We are very, very focused on material gains. But as you go higher in the water level, you are more worried about not just material enjoyment, you are worried about others, relationships. But as you go higher in the fire element, your thinking is very creative. So as the chakra is rises, as the energy rises, so there is this base kundalini, what they say, at the base of this spine, and as you meditate, so it depends on your meditation. This kundalini, these nadis, they run this chakra. The nadis run from the root of the perineum up to the sahasrara, up to the top, from the back. And as the yogi raises his energy from the lower part, these chakras, chakra bhedana, these chakras are destroyed. And as these chakras are destroyed, as the energy goes higher, these chakras break up. These chakras break up, and what happens is the chakras raise, and they slowly raise, and they come back up here. And as as the kundalini breaks up these chakras, goes through these chakras, and by the meditation on the bija, like lam, vam, then hum, all these little letters, these elements, one gains victory over these elements, like earth, then water. Then as you go higher, then Manipura chakra, then one gains victory over hunger. So Manipura chakra is very much responsible for the digestion. So then we slowly come from the Manipura chakra, Swadhisthana, then the Manipura. So Manipura is represented by yellow because it represents fire. It's basically pancreas, stomach, liver, gallbladder, all these things. And fire represents also sight. So every chakra has a function related to a certain part of the body. So if you see basically for the Mooladhara chakra, it's prostate, kidneys, bladder, spine, and for the Swadhisthana chakra, it's a different. It's mainly deals with reproductive organs. So the solar plexus or the Manipura chakra, It deals with digestion basically. Then comes anahata, then the heart chakra. So this is what we were talking about. So the energy after the three chakras, the fourth chakra is the heart chakra. Its symbol is, its letter is hum, and its color is like greenish or pinkish. So this chakra, no, this is the, as Prabhupada explains in this purport very beautifully, he says this is the point where there is crisscrossing. So the subtle heart chakra is the crossroads of numerous channels of prana called nadis, which extend outward to all parts of the body. So this pranic energy, when these passageways have been sufficiently purified, the Aruni yogis can leave the heart region and go upward to the chakra at the roof of the brain. Yogis who leave their bodies through this chakra, the Brahmarandra, go directly to the kingdom of God, from which they need never return to be reborn. Thus, even the unsure process of meditational yoga can bear the fruit of pure devotional service if it is followed perfectly. Of course, it is very, very difficult to follow perfectly. It is not that easy because the heart chakra, purifying them. So these 108, so 108, the 108, the what do you call it? The uh, nadis, 101, sorry, the 101 nadis that are there. So these 101 nadis, they are crisscrossing there, and each nadi spreads out the energy, the subtle energy, to different parts. So the feelings from the heart, actually the feelings from the heart are sent out to the different parts of the body, right? So the feelings actually emerge from the region of the heart. And when they actually emerge from the heart, so the purification means our meditation begins in the region of the heart. And right in the region of the heart is the Paramatma who is located there. And by meditating on him, meditating on his limbs, and when you, the another way to purify these nadis within the heart is actually to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and listen to it very, very attentively. That is one easy way of purifying the heart, because when you hear very attentively, so that is very, very important that you hear very, very attentively. This sound just enters into the heart, and when it enters the region of the heart, the subtle pranic sound, this penetrates these channels. This sound penetrates these channels and crashes away the other disturbing sound vibrations. So what is disturbing you is the different kinds of sound vibrations. And when these different kinds of sound vibrations are disturbing within the region of the heart, so these thoughts are actually carried within these pranic channels. So these thoughts are actually carried within these pranic channels. And then there are two ways to purify the heart. There are two ways to purify these pranic channels. One is pranayama. So one way to purify these channels is actually the pranayama. Another way to purify these channels is by sound. So in pranayama also, the whole idea is to hold the breath, then meditate. Because if I hold my breath, like one way of simple pranayama is I breathe out. Once I breathe out completely, I hold my breath. So I hold my breath after breathing out as much as I can. This kind of holding the breath doesn't harm, right? So when you hold it, so what is happening basically is between the mind and the body and the working organs, the thoughts that is there, the transmitter for this thought is this air, prana, and the air. The transmitter is this prana and the air. So By blocking this air, we are stopping the uh, unwanted thought. Hmm? So we are blocking the unwanted thoughts. So by blocking the unwanted thoughts, gradually, see something like what a yogi does. He lifts his hand for 12 years, for example. What is the point? In the end, the hand will become frozen like this. So similarly, by stopping the breath and stopping the mode of action, we are stopping the mind from doing undue thought process. So what the yogi does, he has to program his thinking, his heart, his feelings in such a way. Now what we do is we don't want, but we get material feelings, dirty feelings within the heart, we say. Right? Though this anahata chakra within the heart is so important because all these feelings are carried to all different parts of the body. Hmm? All different parts of the body. Hmm? So to to when these feelings are carried to all different parts of the body, suppose you are feeling very envious, very angry, so then a kind of acidic feelings are taken into your body becomes very acidic. Suppose you are feeling very nervous, then you become very, you kind of become a little nervous. So all these feelings are carried from the region of the heart onto the different parts. Hmm? So this is, one needs to stem this at the very root. And what is the root? The root is your heart region. So in the yoga, what we do is, by the process of asana, you are able to sit in one position for a long time. Now this is very important because you need to have a stable body in order to have a stable thought and a stable process. So the body needs to be really, 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 really stable. So this stable body, and then you are focused on this prana, on this vayu, in this air. This needs to be also. So steadiness is very, very important. But first of all, one needs to give up. One needs to give up gross sin. What is that? No meat eating, no illicit sex, no intoxication, no gambling. So then your heart, then your body and mind, you are at least ready in some sense. Then the very important thing we have to understand in this Kali Yuga, even to be successful, even in the practice of yoga, to purify the heart, one has to first chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Because the Om mantra can be chanted and successfully chanted, the Om mantra can be chanted by those who are celibates, those who practice brahmacharya, those who practice perfect celibacy. Now, practicing that perfect celibacy in this Kali Yuga is so difficult. Even mentally, one cannot be, because all you see in all these advertisements and all these places, and especially in everywhere now, all over the world, even in America or anywhere in the world, is people fashion, showing their fashion and showing their all this stuff. So it's we have to understand very, very clearly that this is not the way to go. So the way to go is that one needs to internalize. So internalize in this Kali Yuga, one needs to first, even practicing yoga. Today our temple president Jai Krishna Prabhu was saying that yoga is essential for all devotees, even those who are chanting Hare Krishna, just to strengthen, relax, and become stronger. So that's very, very important. So what we have to do, basically, if we want to improve our even our sadhana, first one needs to do asanas, because by asanas one needs to get a stronger body, and a stronger health. So if from the asanas, with a good diet and a good lifestyle and good sangha, satsanga. So this is where it begins. A yogi needs to purify the heart. Even in the 6th chapter Bhagavad Gita, which we are discussing, and today our focus was on the 6 chakras. If you see, it is very, very important that we actually focus on the region of the heart, because purification of the heart is the most important point. The Anahata chakra, and then it is said, Srila Prabhupada explains that this subtle channel in this Anahata chakra, it leads to the Sahasrara chakra. Now, between this, there is this Bhru Madhya, this chakra. So, The name of this chakra at the what do you call the uh, this region, uh, the symbol for that chakra, Ajna chakra, it's called as Ajna chakra, and the symbol for that chakra is actually Om. Hmm? So between that there is this Vishuddhi chakra at the region of the throat, and this Vishuddhi chakra is also responsible for a lot of different functions. Hmm? So these chakras in the throat region, of course, there is the very important gland, thyroid gland. So it is the what is associated with that is actually hum. The bija mantra is hum, and what is there is ether, sound. So at this chakra, and the Ajna chakra at the middle of the eyebrows. Now this is the intuitional chakra here in the middle, and the Om symbol is embedded there. Hmm? So this Ajna chakra, when we activate the Ajna chakra, one actually gets a lot of intuition. Intuition is increased. The pranic energy, intuition is increased when you focus on the Ajna chakra. But higher than the Ajna chakra is actually the Sahasrara chakra. So now this Sahasrara chakra, which is on top of the head, this has 1,000 petals. The seventh chakra, and it is called as the universal chakra. Very powerful. It's the whole universe is said to kind of exist within that. Uh, uh, Within the Sahasrara chakra actually. So if we really want to understand these chakras, so then one needs to learn how to actually meditate. The crown chakra represents the topmost consciousness. So thousand-headed, thousand-petaled lotus. So it is the pineal gland and upper brain and right eye, all these things are connected. And when this chakra is activated, one is actually in a transcendental state. So this chakra is called as Ajna chakra, the third eye. So let's go over these chakras very quickly. The base chakra at the root of the genital organ, Mooladhara chakra, and that represents the earth element. It is related to the kidneys, bladder, and the spine, the prostate organ, and it is the physical vitality. And basically, all animals have this chakra activated. What is that? The Mooladhara chakra, because it's basically survival, earth, very base, and the nose, smell, the sense of smell, and the Mooladhara chakra, they are related. Now the second is Swadhisthana chakra. In the Swadhisthana chakra, this energy is the center for creating relationships, isn't it? So that one is just below the navel, we have to understand, and it's orange. It also deals with relationships. Relationships means sexual interest, material relationships, basically, because spiritual relationships start with the heart. This the thing. So then slightly above that is Manipura. The representation is fire, yellow in color, and this chakra is represents the digestive energy. So it's stomach, pancreas, liver. So if these things are not working well, that means this Manipura chakra, the fire element is low within the body. So that needs a little bit of a thrust. So the next, from this Manipura chakra, the next one is within the region of the heart. So this chakra is actually in the region of the heart that is called as Anahata. So that represents love, compassion, all these things. So it basically represents heart, liver, lungs, blood circulation, and it's at the center of the chest, and its letter is Yam. So the next is the Vishuddhi chakra, and this kind of represents a little bit of kind of intuition, then desire to speak the truth, speaking ability is this, and it is represented by the chakra hum. The bijakshara is hum. Then the third eye is the Ajna chakra, and the letter there embedded is Om. Hmm? And that basically is leading to, it's actually talking about more about your intuitive life. Hmm? How to be intuitive, how to gain intuitive psychic powers. So that's related here. Then the Sahasrara chakra on top, that is the spiritual consciousness. So what does a yogi do basically? How does he raise his consciousness? So what the yogi does is, first of all, as discussed, he has these 101 pranic channels. Now, until these pranic channels are purified, one cannot raise the energy from the lower chakra to the higher chakra. So one has to purify. So purify is not an easy job. So how do you purify? So to purify these chakras, one has to undergo the process of purification. So how does that? That is lifestyle, diet, your dealings with others, your relationship with others. So if you do not have a proper lifestyle, if you do not have a proper diet, if you do not have a proper relationship with others, then your heart, this pranic energy, this will not be purified. This will not be. It cannot purify. It cannot. You cannot progress further. You cannot raise the energy higher. So, in order to raise this energy higher, the body has to become lighter. Then these channels open up automatically. So when these channels open up, the kundalini, it begins to flow automatically. So first of all, for the yogi, for the yoga to be successful, even if you are a Ashtanga yogi, as I mentioned, even if you are a Ashtanga yogi, but for a Ashtanga yogi also to be successful, he has to chant the holy name. And Prabhupada says, even if he is taking to this indirect process of yoga, even if he's taking to this indirect process of yoga, even then he can become successful if he adds it to devotional service when performed perfectly and connected to Krishna. So this is very, very important. So the feelings, the seat of the feelings, which is the region of the heart. So this is where one needs to be. One's intention, one's intent needs to be really good, and then you will see that actually, that by if one's intent is right, the base of the feelings within the heart, then through these 101 channels, all these feelings go out. For example, if somebody has a shock, because of the heart, these feelings are went go everywhere, and then he gets a paralysis stroke, or he gets like continuously all this, he gets acidity because of frustration or anger within the heart. So this anger, lust, anger, and greed, these feelings, this emanate from the heart. So the root is here, lust, anger, and greed. So it should be filtered right here in the region of the heart. And lust is so difficult to clear. Uh, Anger is so difficult to clear. Greed is so difficult to clear. So how do you do this? So that is why hearing is so important, because when the sound penetrates the pranic, either you do perfect pranayama and clear these nadis, or you can you can hear the Bhagavatam, because it says Vidyate Hridaya Granthis. These Hridaya, this becomes knots. These nadis, because of our bad feelings, they form knots. They block the energy. They block the flow of energy when our feelings are not proper. So when these channels are blocked, when these nadis are intertwined because of our feelings, the nadis become very, very cluttered. So then, but when the feelings are relaxed, when the heart is not disturbed, so then the channels open up. So then the energy begins to flow. So our situation is, because of our desires, so we have created multiple filters to our feelings. And what it has done is, it has obstructed this flow of spiritual energy. So to strengthen this chakra, one has to hear and chant and just let it. Let it hear and let it blast. Let the negative energy go away. Let the negative energy go away. So Bidyate Radaya Granthis. So this Granthi, when it is pierced, when it is all these blocks are gone, so then this energy begins to flow. The spiritual energy begins to flow. One becomes enlivened. One becomes, all the good qualities, good character begins to flow in him. So, but because today we are not able to hear, so nicely and everything, what we have to do is we have to create a very nice lifestyle where we are practicing yoga, we are having a proper diet, we are having good relationships, and we are spending enough time reading Bhagavad Gita, reading Bhagavatam, and hearing them attentively, doing our chanting very nicely. So it has to be a combination of multiple activities. Because we are not able to focus on one activity, we have to do this in a very, very nice way. So this will be the topic of the next class. Now these chakras are there. What kind of diet we need to have? What kind of lifestyle we need to have? What kind of practices in certain ways we need to have? So this we will discuss in detail in the coming classes, because it is such an important subject matter that without understanding this subject matter, which is pertaining to the heart, we will not be able to progress. We are stuck. We don't know where to attack. For example, when an army plans the attacks, to the enemy, you need to know where your target is, and then you go around that. You kind of they plan and then they attack. But if you don't even plan, you don't even look at the target, you don't even know where to attack, then what's the point? When you don't know where to attack, then what happens? So when you don't know where to attack, then your focus is not proper, isn't it? So what we have to do is to get our attack at the right spot, to clean the heart, we have to focus in the right way. This is very, very important. So this is very, very important for all of us. So the answer is here. The answer is in the region of the heart, the chakra. And Prabhupada says these pranic channels, 101 pranic channels, they open up and they spread energy throughout the body. So the feelings in the heart are going to be the base of your attack. So if it is purified here, the filter is removed right here at the base. The filter is removed right here. And while the filter is removed from the heart, so then the good energy flows everywhere. Now it is filtered, whatever you think is filtered with lust, anger, and greed. So because of that, it doesn't work out. All right, so I will stop here. So next class, as I mentioned, we will talk in detail about the different lifestyle and everything needed. Now I'll be happy to take questions, and we already have a question here for today by Shaila Mataji. He says, what is the Bija mantra, and should you repeat all the Bijakshara of each chakra, please? So the thing is, here what happens is the Bija mantra will be effective when we are able to sit in one place, when we are able to sit and meditate on that. So what we have to do is, before we do this Bija mantra meditation, one has to first learn Surya Namaskar. So when you do Surya Namaskar, actually, and then you are able to, after you do the Surya Namaskar, and this Surya Namaskara actually energizes all the chakras first. Then you are able to sit in Siddhasana, Vajrasana, Padmasana, one of the three asanas, and then you are able to meditate on each Bijakshara, right? So these Bijakshara, as you meditate on these Bijaksharas, gradually, and you have to meditate on that element with which it is associated, it is said one gradually overcomes it. That is one way of doing it. And another, it says, even if one is not able to meditate on different Bijaksharas, it is so difficult to, completely meditate and come up. If one meditates on Om, this Om Kara is very, very powerful. So either in this Kali Yuga you meditate on Omkara or you meditate on the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. See, Hare Krishna, that is why for Kali Yuga people like you and me, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is given because it can be sung, it can be chanted, it can be repeated like a mantra because it is just the name. So it is a perfect name. Tasya Vachaka Pranava. Om is also a name. It is said in the Yoga Sutras, he says Tasya Vachaka Pranava. The greatest sound one can meditate on in the Yoga Sutras for a perfect yogi is Om. So this bija, that this Om is the bija for all other mantras. So if you are chanting Om, you are chanting all other bijaksharas. But those who are like hardcore yogis, so then they will need bijakshara for each one and meditate on that particular chakra. Then they want to realize and come up to this point. But one already understands that Om is the bija for all other mantras, and then you focus on Om, all other mantras are chanted. Further, if one understands that Hare Krishna mantra already contains Om, you should chant Hare Krishna and a little bit of Om chanting. There should be a combination, Om and Hare Krishna. This will, all the mantras, all the Bija mantras will come within these chanting of these two. So that is why it is going to be very, very powerful. So Om itself is very powerful. But remember, if you want the effect of Om, very perfect effect, then one should keep perfect celibacy. So this is very, very important. And then if you chant Hare Krishna, of course, also it contains Om and it has all the perfections already. I hope I answered your question. So any other questions or comments at this point?
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। हरे कृष्ण। को कैसे नोटिफाई किया जाएगा कि वो जैसे ध्यान करने का जो ऊपर में फिर हार्ट में इस तरह से एवरी बॉडी पार्ट को कंसंट्रेट करने का चक्र को मतलब कैसे इन्वॉल्व करने के लिए,
जैसे हम बॉडी के हर पार्ट पे तिलक भी लगाते हैं वैसा भी है, लेकिन योगी जो है हम लोग मुख्यतः अपने हृदय के भाग में, वी मेडिटेट ऑन द रीजन ऑफ द हार्ट, हृदय के भाग में, क्योंकि वहां भगवान परमात्मा का वास होता है। तो परमात्मा का वास होता है, तो इसीलिए अगर हम हृदय के भाग में ध्यान करते हैं, वहां पे श्री विष्णु का, परमात्मा का वास होता है, तो उन पे ध्यान करने से हमारा ध्यान जो है वो परफेक्ट हो जाता है। हाँ, हम लोग हार्ट में चैंट्रेन, भगवान जो श्री विष्णु का रूप जो है, परमात्मा का रूप जो है, उसका स्मरण करके उनका स्मरण करके हम लोग परमात्मा का स्मरण करते हैं, तो हमारा हृदय शुद्ध हो जाता है, क्योंकि वो हृदय के भाग में रहते हैं। ठीक है माता जी। So Shaila Mataji has another question. What is specific for Manipura Chakra? We missed it. Manipura Chakra is the Vaishwanara Agni, Krishna in the form of Agni, and this Vaishwanara Agni is very, very important for digestion. It is related to the fire element. So this is related to the fire, to the Agni element, to the fire element. So this Vaishwanara is very, very powerful. So that is the importance of that. So it is yellow in color. It is representing fire, and it enters and it is responsible for digestion. Your stomach, liver, and all these things come under the Manipura chakra. So Anand Viharini Mataji has a question. Or after completing our 16 rounds, for how long should we chant the Om mantra? I would say you can also chant Om like 51 times or 108 times. It will be very powerful. You should sit with your back straight very nicely, and you will find this Om brings about a lot of peace. So after chanting, just sit down, chant what is the chant the Om mantra 51 times or 108 times. So you'll take like at least 5 to 6 minutes, and that should be very nice. So what is the bija akshar? What is it meant for? Bija akshara means every energy, the gross lies in the subtle. So gross rise in the subtle, the energy. So every energy comes from sound. So the bij akshara contains the energy for that particular element or that particular chakra. So this is a design. So if you want to gain or overcome that particular chakra or gain the energy, then one has to meditate on the bija akshara. So by meditating on the bija akshara, one gets the particular energy of that particular chakra. So that is the meaning of bija akshara. Now, who designed it? Krishna designed it. So he's the designer for these things. So where do you actually learn yoga technique like asana pranayama? There are so many courses available. Any courses which would be authentic. I would say there is. If you go to, I would recommend only one important. There is one. I think Ashtanga by David Swenson. I think there is one by David Swenson. So there is a practice by David Swenson, and then there is a practice by very nice on YouTube. You will find it. It's free. There is Ashtanga Yoga by David Swenson, and one is by John Scott. And John Scott. If you search John Scott Ashtanga or David Swenson Ashtanga, if you practice, if you are able to practice even like first 20 minutes of the practice, of both are the same, but David Swenson has a more explanation, and John Scott also. You can find a lot of material there. So this is very authentic. Actually, the Ashtanga, which is by Patabi Joyce and Sarath. So that is very, very beneficial. So I would recommend you can go through that. Of course, you need a bit of training, but you can actually follow. So that's very nice. I also have my video. If you Google Krishna Yoga by Gaur Nataraj Das, you will find that. Hopefully, very soon I want to travel and teach yoga in different places. So, and also, if you find any Ashtanga, which is from the Pattabi Joy School or something like that, it will be very, very it will be very, very beneficial. So this is my suggestion only. So what is the Bijakshara for the solar plexus? It is Ram. So for the, is it okay to learn from YouTube? One needs classroom course. Yes, classroom course is needed. Classroom course is definitely needed. But the choice, if you want to check, would be this. If you want actual powerful yoga, there are two yogas which I can, two yogas which I can really recommend. One would be the Shivananda yoga, either Shivananda. They are also very nice, very relaxing. Either Shivananda yoga course in any Shivananda, very authentic, very powerful, and or Ashtanga by the Patavi Joy School. So this is what I know, which is very, very strong. So Shivananda has a lot of presence many places. So that would be nice. So, or either the you could actually either go that one or some other. So you can see what works best. So Shivananda is something easier, and Ashtanga is something which is a little tough. So you can see what works, what is a good one. All right. So any other quick questions or comments?
Hare Krishna Guruji, I do have one quick question, Shweta. You just said about chanting Om. And I wanted to know if that is something Prabhupada ever mentioned.
It's not that Prabhupada did not mention. So these mantras are mentioned there. This actually speaking, Hare Krishna mantra already contains Om, definitely. But chanting Om in terms of yoga sadhana is very, very powerful. We are not recommending it as a sadhana, but chanting Om for 5 minutes, like practicing yoga, it is very powerful way of meditation. And in the yoga scriptures, and especially in the Krishna mentions in the Bhagavad Gita, especially in the 8th chapter, he mentions the chanting of the Om to be very, very powerful. And he says that is the ultimate word for a yogi. So that is there. For example, most Maharajas in ISKCON today practice yoga because they know that it releases of tension, it gives you the strength by which we can focus. So similarly, Om also, the vibration is so powerful. When you are practicing celibacy, especially, it helps you calm down, focus, and it actually activates a lot of chakras. So it is something which is a standard practice in yoga, and certain practices help us in increasing our focus and everything. Just like practicing yoga, understanding this does help strengthen our focus on chanting. So similarly for a yogi, this Om chanting is very, very powerful. Also, for example, we have elaborate deity worship, and when you do deity worship, you have to chant the Gayatri, and you need to focus. So for the each mantra that we see, the bija is Om, right? For everything, the bija is Om. For all mantras, Om Vishnave Namaha, Om Madhusudana. So this Om is very powerful. It is the root of all mantras. So, as a small sadhana, this Om, in a neutral sense, it is very, very beneficial for everybody in general. All right, Madhi. Thank you very much. I think it's been a very wonderful question answer session. So next week we will go into diet and how to focus on diet and mind control and things like that. Health, lifestyle, diet, and we'll slowly go get into these parts. Okay. All right. So I'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.